Today's a big day. I'm at Dave's house, and Dave has installed the engine lift kit. Now, this is a preliminary thing. It's more of a proof of concept to show you what we accomplished here. When I say we, Dave, with the help of Kai out there, American Dinosaurs, we're going to show some stuff off that Kai sent. This is an idea. It's not... Everybody has this idea. If you've done the lift with your Chevy Astro van, the body lifts, but the engine stays low. Engine stays where the factory spot is, and your oil pan then is kind of hanging low. So if you want to take it off-road, it's a problem. And you run into some other issues as well. But if you could lift the engine higher to where it fits inside the body correct, now you're onto something. You can see inside my engine compartment here. I think you can. I know it's a little bright. But way back in here is where the intake goes in for the air. It's way low. You can just see how much lower this is. If you look at Dave's, it's back up the factory spec. And now his air box fits in where it's supposed to. Okay. If you look at my oil pan under here, you can see my front cross member. And you can see the oil pan there in relation to the exhaust. All this. And on mine, it's not as low as a lot of other people's because I've got the taller tires and everything, which makes it a lot nicer. But if you look at Dave, this is your front differential. Look at where his oil pan is. Look at that compared to the rear cross member. There's a straight edge. Look at the clearance for the oil pan. This is going from the front cross member to the rear cross member. I'll show it to you from another angle as well. If you look up in here, I'm trying to get you an angle here. It's hard for me to see. I think you see it from here. It's that shiny black piece of metal back here. That's one of the new engine mounts. Now, your engine mount is below. It's actually bolted into your engine mount, the bushing in your engine mount. This is a bracket. We replaced the factory one with this new one. Now, what Kai sent us, Dave put in his truck, and he measured, and it lifted his engine 1.5 inches. But as you know, with these lift kits, it's either a 2-inch spacer or a 3-inch spacer. So, here's your spacer. So if you're going to lift the body 3 inches, you want to lift the engine 3 inches, right? That's what makes sense. Here's the other bracket. You can see it right here. Crawling around the dirt. Again, let's look at this straight edge. Look at the space to the bottom of the oil pan. Front cross member to rear cross member. You can see the exhaust pipe here. But again, look at the clearance. That's amazing. With this, the oil pan's higher than the front differential. Technically, you don't even need a skid plate anymore. We're probably going to come up with a plate that runs straight across, just because it's a smart idea. It'd be a lot easier to deal with. But this is, you know, you can get a skid plate. There's companies making them now. But that's just going to lower. It lowers things, right? It gives you less clearance. So if you lift the engine, you put a skid plate now, and with a taller tire, you're going to be a lot more capable off-road. Now, here's a look at the transmission mount change. Now, this is going to change, but Dave decided to lift the transmission to 3 inches as well. Another look at it here, on this side. And you can see the angle coming off the drive shaft here. May seem drastic to some people, but it pretty much matches. It's not bad. Dave's had this thing 95 miles an hour on the highway with 0 vibration. Next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to make some brackets to eliminate the shock mount being that low. So you'll be able to mount the shocks so they're coming off pretty much straight off the axle, so you don't have that low hanging shock mount. So that's coming too. But this is pretty wild, man. I'm real excited about this. And I'm looking forward to getting this in my truck. I mean, I'm so much higher than Dave just because of the tires, you know. But again, we got to get that oil pan up off the ground there. Give you a quick tour of Dave's pad here and show you what else is going on. So this is what Kai made and sent me. This is Kai, American Dinosaurs. He's out in Utah, and really cool dude. And like I said, we've all had this idea, but he's the only guy I know that actually took the time to make these brackets. And I reached out to him. He sent me this set, and it turns out he sent these to a lot of people. And as I said, Dave put these in his truck, measured, and these lifted his engine 1.5 inches. Giving these to the fellas today. And Kai, I'm going to send you a pack of these if I haven't sent them already. So what Dave did was he made this jig, and this allowed him to figure out how to make them taller. And with and these are your factory engine brackets here. So what this does is this allows him to make them at 2 inches or 3 inches or any height that you want. But I think when we eventually make these available, we'll probably just do 2 inch and 3 inch, because those are like the spacers that most people do. People do a 2 inch lift, they'll do the 5 inch lift with the 3 inch body spacers, and that makes the most sense. I think the plan is to do a flat pack. We're going to have the, what's the term, water jetted?
Laser cut or water jet.
Laser cut, water jet.
Tab.
Yeah.
Tab and slot construction.
Yeah, we'll have tabs. Everything will interlock together, so it'll be super easy for anybody to weld it together. Little Astro Van Tribe logo in there. Check that out. Westfalia. It's got the Subaru engine. Just kind of, they're putting a new transmission in it. They put one in, and it was bad, so they have to get another one. This guy drove down from Washington to do this, and then let's show. What's this? This is a Mercury back here.
That's our Mercury Mountaineer.
Front axle swap, reinforced frame, new engine. Why am I showing you that? Well, so you know, the people doing this know what they're doing. That's why. It's not going to be some fly-by-night, cheapy, thin metal thing. It's going to be 1/4 inch thick steel, well braced. It'll be something you could put in and depend on and not worry about it. You've seen Dave's rear bumper. We were talking about this today. We're going to be doing this for the van, but it'll be dual swing-aways. This is just one. Here's his Samurai. I can't really get a good look at it from here. Kind of packed in here, but yeah, he rolled this down a mountain and survived that, and then put a new body on it. So these are real four-wheeling dudes. I trust them. So stay tuned. We're very close to getting the parts cut and having this kit available for sale. We don't know what the price is yet, but it'll be affordable. And again, and all you guys with the lifts, you need to lift the engine right. This is not the issue with the oil pan rubbing the front axle, right? Anybody could have that issue, and you could go through what we all go through and put the new Prothane, polyurethane, bushings and the engine mount cages and all that. This is different. This lifts the engine inside the body to where it should be. Puts it back to factory inside the body. So stay tuned on that, and have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Be good to one another.